Yeah, this is the ridge of a gutter. This is where the debris, the build-up, the leaves, the gunk gets caught up, and where the plumber's coming along clearing that. During the first few layers, you might get the leaves, you might get the tennis ball, you might get whatever's stuck up on that gutter. Oh, mate, how many tennos have you lost up on this?
Nah, no one's saying tennos, Das.
No tennos? Das and Jace here, the flexing model.
Quick flex.
Today we're focusing on shoulder pain and how your neck might be the one causing the pain in your shoulder. If you're consistently getting treatment
Yep.
in between the shoulder blade,
Keep going, do work.
Then we're back. If we are consistently getting treatment in between the shoulder blade and we're always getting pain right up in here, Jace, yep, turn around,
yeah, that's pretty
or in the
sore.
trap,
Yeah.
it's probably related to the neck
Oh.
and how our head shifts forward.
Oh.
Okay, so these little guys, our suboccipital, is the control center. It tells our brain where we are in space, the proprioceptive center. So if we're feeling like our head's shifting forward, what's going to happen is our upper traps are going to become short and tight, and down here is going to become long and weak. So treating the source of the pain, the neck. I'm going to show you something too, Jace.
Yeah.
Our head, you stay there. Our head
stay
weighs. Yeah, stay there. Come over here, Leo. Yeah, that's about the weight of our head. 12 pounds, that's 4 kilos, so a little bit less. I'm going to do a little activity here for you, Jace.
Oh.
So if we've got perfect alignment, stand straight on. Yep, from ear, shoulder, hip, ankle, come right back, Leo, so we can see that there would be a perfect line. That's symmetry, that's alignment. If we are stacked well with our joints, then our head then our neck muscles and our suboccipital and our SEM and all these muscles can work consistently together, then this weight of our head is going to be about 12 pounds. It's good enough, the distribution and the forces are accounted for equally. If we shift our head forward, okay, so every 5 degrees, essentially, our head triples in weight. So a little challenge for you, Jace. What I want you to do is, this is essentially what's going to be happening to this weight. So this is the weight of your head. Stand up straight, Jace. Grab this weight for me. Put it straight up in the air. All right. How does that feel, Jace?
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
And if I said, if you could do this for 5 minutes, how do you reckon you'd go?
Yeah, it'd be all right. My shoulders are a bit dodgy, but I reckon I'll be able to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now just put it out 5 degrees further.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Feeling a lot more tension on the shoulder already.
Yeah. And if I said, could you do this for 5 minutes, do you think you could do it?
Not there, no.
No. All right, let's go 5 degrees more.
Oh, yeah, now you're testing me, Das.
How are we feeling?
I'm going to do about 30 seconds.
30 seconds. If I paid you $1 million, how long could you do it for?
Oh, maybe a minute. But my back's starting to kick in already.
All right, relax.
Oh.
Relax.
Jeez.
Now, why do you reckon we did that, Jace?
I reckon to show that's what your head's doing when your neck's all like this.
Yeah.
So that's the pressure that's going through this part of your neck.
Yeah.
So if you're there, it's, as Das mentioned, more distributed evenly. Where it's there, the pressure is a lot more through this joint, this specific area.
So you can see that when Jace shifts his shoulder forward, how much harder his muscles, his stabilisers, his rotator cuff, his deltoids had to work to hold that position. That is you sitting at an office. That is you driving a car. That is you scrolling on your phone.
Checking your phone.
And your neck muscles
Watching right now. Tuck that chin in.
Yeah, are having to work much harder. So just a little something that you can think about,
Bloody good,
conceptualise. So that's
Strip off?
Yeah, strip
Leave
off,
the
mate.
shorts off a neck.
Yeah. So we get a good understanding of why your shoulders are getting really tired and fatigued and sore. Yes, treat the symptoms, get into that shoulder blade. We love to do that because it feels really good, but the source of your pain is actually right up in here. So I'm going to get my wax. What we're going to do is show you exactly where our suboccipital is. So think of our atlas and our axis, C1 and C2, the base of the skull, and how I can sink right into here. Now, as we said, these guys are one of the closest muscles to the brainstem. So essentially the proprioceptors, the control center of our nervous system is right there, right? So we do need to be, the way we approach this is with caution, but with confidence, knowing that I can put quite a lot of force in there, but I can't be aggressive. I need to slow down, melt, and pin that spot without going too fast, too abrasive, and too firm. Now, a lot of people with headaches, a lot of people with jaw pain, a lot of people with migraines, you know, especially through their eyes, like they're sensitive to light or sensitive to sound. This can be the source of that. You know, we can remedy that pain by treating the suboccipitals. The control center of our eyes and our blinking comes from our suboccipitals, a lot of that. So,
Ooh.
yeah, just sharing some wisdom.
Das is pulling out all the knowledge today. Fucking hell.
So,
oh, that's good.
That's good.
Oh, that's into my head.
The thumb is the perfect little key to fit into that lock. So that's a nice little space there that I can sink in, melt, and clear. So I'm sort of angling up, working down and finding exactly where Jace needs it. Now Jace has got some shoulder dysfunction. His shoulders don't move as fluent as maybe some other joints in his body. So we're going to have a little bit of a feel by just, this will be an actual treatment, by actually just treating the neck, the suboccipital, getting these first two cervical processes to move better, and then see how we can, how his shoulders feel.
Ooh.
So real life treatment.
Oh, real life wizardry from Das.
What we're trying to do is relax the upper traps. You saw when Jason's kettlebell was out, 15 degrees, which is so common for our postures, our forward head postures, that upper cross syndrome. We know that these guys are super hypertonic. They're working so hard, and they're doing that for hours on end. Until you relax and put your head on a pillow, which might not be enough. You probably might not be getting enough sleep. Imagine you're not getting enough sleep. You're spending too much time in front of a computer. You're not eating well. You're not training your muscles, and you're not getting enough treatment. Geez, no wonder your system, your body, is in pain. And yeah, got to take care of yourselves.
A few factors there that at play, Das,
Yeah.
isn't there? So,
well, it's not just one thing, man. Oh, that's a good spot on Jace. Our suboccipitals are all of this, and they are extenders of the neck. So the joint action is this guy, right? So flexion comes from the front, these deep cervical neck flexors, but they are extenders of the neck. So they're also getting really fatigued. And what happens is when they're really tight and compromised, they're compressing our cervical spine. So we do this, check the angle, our head shifts forward, and these guys are overworking. Now all of a sudden, that head shifted forward, my upper traps have to work to compensate, and these guys come really weak and stretch and taut. And now when treating something weak and taut, essentially, yes, it's going to feel good, but is it going to actually create long-lasting change? Probably not. So no looking at a posture, looking at alignment, where we need to go to, and that comes back to our assessment and just understanding of how the body moves, what needs to be stable, what needs to be mobile, understanding that this needs to be stable, this needs to have control, and if it's really in a space that's not controlled, then other areas are going to compensate. That's why you're always getting that pain in between your shoulder blades. And Jason's just breathing into that. It can be really intense, referring into the head, the neck. What are you getting there, Jace?
That spot's not too bad, but
Yep.
definitely at the start there was some referral up around like the eye and temple region.
Yeah.
I don't actually get headaches or migraines, but
Yep.
yeah, it still had a bit of referral there.
Yep.
But since then it's just become more localised. That's got a bit on it though.
Yep.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, you need to look at the body holistically and not just as sections. Back pain's here, shoulder pain's here. Let's look at the joint above and below and get a good understanding of what's happening at the joint above. Why do I consistently get that really achy, I just need to crack my neck all the time or roll my shoulder or get on a foam roller? People do that for years. I see clients that have had pain in their shoulder blades for years, and you treat this area really well. You do a really thorough job of their suboccipital. You really get into those nooks and crannies where things are built up, blocked, and that blood flow, that channel for circulation isn't quite getting through there. You do a really good job of this, and all of a sudden the whole system just feels relaxed because you've done a thorough job. You've done it properly. Good. So another way of doing it is base of the skull, up there. Really getting onto that fascia.
Yeah.
So the fascia comes up over the
It's
head.
actually on the skull now, Darth.
Yeah, I'm on the skull. Yeah, those tendons come up onto the skull. They go into it and under it, but they're also on top. Now, one thing as a practitioner or a body worker, and something that we teach as well in our course, if you're interested in, really helping people and investing in, getting a broader knowledge base on treatment, is you want to change your thumb in different angles to actually fit the piece of the puzzle. So right now I'm using the tips of my thumb. In there I might use a more broader part of my thumb and just feeling for where is that block, where is that spot I need to melt and clear out. And then
Dust, the jigsaw man.
the jigsaw.
Bloody hell.
Another way
Tremendous.
is using my 4 fingers here. Now we know that those suboccipitals are extenders of the atlas and the axis, the first 2 segments of the cervical spine. So compression, think of it being compressed and jarred and jammed in there. I'm using my top of my fingers to grab the base of the skull and distract the joint. Make Jace a little bit taller.
Oh, thank you.
Shimmying, wiggling, grabbing.
Oh, that feels good out there.
And grabbing some length. So some exercises that people like to do are chin tucks because it does lengthen and stretch the posterior part of the neck. So they're good. But again, looking at the system and looking at the body as a whole, how can we strengthen the whole system rather than just isolating it? But they can be really good at it as a starting point.
But you would address the joints above and below, Darth, all as one?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So that's a nice little way, come up onto the skull there.
Oh, that feels amazing.
Yeah.
Oh. Amazing. Huh? Oh, he's not paying me anything. Oh.
Oh, Dorothy. Stop it, would you? Beautiful. All right, I'm going to show you how we can use an elbow in the suboccipital.
Fuck. Jesus.
So I haven't treated this side, but just for a little bit of something different, show you some wizardry. How does that feel, Jay?
Oh, bloody heavy set. Like this guy's carrying a few cannons around, I reckon.
Jason's definitely got some big boulders in his shoulders
in my neck. Yeah.
So again, just what fits the slot. And then sinking out. Now I'm going to do some strokes. I'm going to go from basically where the thoracic spine and the cervical spine meet. So right at that point there, and then we're going to do a nice clean along the laminar groove. So feeling into these spinous processes and just being really delicate with the way I move through there. Good. I'm not crunching down on it. I'm not creating more extension and jarring through there. It's more of a lengthening, like I'm trying to create, I'm trying to decompress the area.
It's more of a dragging effect, isn't it, Das, rather than really sinking in.
Yeah. Good, and then we're gonna, this is the ridge of a gutter. This is where the debris, the build-up, the leaves, the gunk gets caught up, and where the plumbers coming along, clearing that. Doing the first few layers, you might get the leaves, you might get the tennis ball, you might get whatever's stuck up on that gutter, and then that's our first stroke. We're coming back for the mould. Coming back.
No, I just heard what you said, the tennis ball in the gutter. That's
there's a tennis ball.
I love
it. So you never got your tennis ball stuck?
No, I did. I had it.
It's still good. Throw it down. Your dog fucking eats it.
No, that was a good association for me. I remember losing so many tennis balls in the gutter.
Oh, mate, how many tennos have you lost up on this?
Nah, no one's saying tennos, does.
No tennos? Oh, fuck. We do here in bloody Ferntree Gully.
Ferntree Gully. Oh.
I reckon if we went up onto our roof, we'd find plenty of tennis balls.
Oh, I reckon Aaron's kicked bloody 15 balls up there himself.
Yep.
Oh.
Get them down. I bet you the downpipes and the gutter analogy works a lot better.
Yeah. Oh,
Shazen,
getting a
Hausen.
full treatment here, Dars.
Yeah. It can be a really sensitive spot. We get a lot of treatment. I've treated Jason's neck quite a bit, but for those that haven't been treated in here, especially they haven't been treated well, it can be really intense. You can get those really strong referral patterns into the head. And that's probably because nobody's investigated it. Nobody's been up into these areas, these nooks, these crannies that have been blocked and stagnant for a long time. So creating that blood flow in this area is going to just change the way that the person feels a lot and really help them with their headaches and shoulder stuff.
Oh, there. Oh.
No two people are the same. No treatment is the same.
I don't even know what's in there.
Bit of gunk on Chase.
A bit of a tennis ball in the gutter.
Bit of a tennis. Jeez, that's a big tenno.
Oh, it is a big one. Oh. Shit. Oh.
Jason's got a big thick neck. Strong neck. That's a good sign. He's been stacking his joints properly.
Yeah.
You know, I could probably treat like that for ages. About a year, I reckon. I'd be right. I'd be sweet. If I had to hold it there, only half a year. Chase can't see what's happening.
I can't see. I'm assuming you're holding the kettlebell. Yeah. You're doing curls again, are you?
Always doing curls.
He loves them.
All right, Jace, have a little bit of a stand up. Let's see how your shoulder bone feels.
Oh, let me just breathe. My nose is blocked, but better. Keep my modesty towel on. Oh no, I've turned my mic off. That's all right.
All right, Jace.
All right, let's stand up.
So a glenohumeral joint needs mobility,
fuck, no,
but it might struggle with it.
Hang on, I lost my towel dust.
You'll be right, mate. Jesus.
3, 2, 1. There we go. What am I doing now?
Just move your shoulders into flexion and extension. Tell me if it feels nicer through the scapula. So what's going to happen? Maybe turn to, What's going to happen?
Does feel nicer.
Yeah, if he's...
That one feels nicer.
If this is really tight because of it's trying to hold onto that
like
neck or that... Yeah.
That's my neck tilted.
Yeah.
Neck straight.
Yeah.
But there, I actually can't move my shoulder. If I straighten my head.
Come on the side again, Leo, over here. Shoulder again.
There. Like, that's as far as I can get. If I straighten my neck, bang. Yeah. Look at that extra degrees. What is that, like 15 degrees?
Yeah. So the glenohumeral, the scapula is operating smoothly and moving freely over that rib cage and moving freely in that space. When we're closed off because of the posture of our neck, it's gonna feel jammed and blocked. So if you've got shoulder pain that's reoccurring in between the shoulder blades, treat the suboccipitals and do it well. We can do it well. Come and see us, Melbourne, and we'll fix you up.
Thank you guys, bye. Awesome.